There's different ways to think about this. Even in the narcissism world, and I talk about sort of disengagement strategies. We talk about yellow rock and gray rock and low contact and all of that. It's for a person to really assess that they're even thinking, I want to go no contact. What I want to know more than anything is what's your why? What's driving this? Some people say, I get sick every time I see them. I get hurt every time I see them. I literally don't feel safe in my body when I'm with them. I'm not even myself. It's an out of body experience. I'm concerned for my kids when I'm with them. If your why is, I want them to feel as bad as I have, that is going to often be a less healthy reason, and it can leave the person who's gone no contact more likely to experience regret. To folks, this is number one rule of no contact. I personally think never tell the other person you're going no contact. It's a gradual stepping back anyhow. It's pretty rare for a person to see someone every single day until Friday, and then on Saturday go no contact with them, right? It tends to be successive approximate. I'm not going to miss my cousin's wedding because they're going to be there. So some people will kind of try to clear out that. Some people will do the form of low contact where they say, if I see them, it's going to be polite conversation. I'm not going to tell them what's going on in my life. I'm not going to engage them in any significant way. I'm not going to sleep in their home. I'm not going to have a meal with them. So some of it may actually look like that. See what can work for you because the cultural piece is huge, Jay. A lot of people will say, this is just not what we do in my culture. And it's not, this is no longer just about no contact with me and a member of my family, whomever it may be, parent, sibling, whomever. It is, I am now kind of wobbling this whole family system. And I'm very fond of people because some people will say, I go no contact with person A. I don't get to see person B who's actually really beloved to me, triangulations. So I'll tell people, figure out the successive approximations and what helps you feel safer. Because sometimes through agency, a person will say, I know I'm going to my cousin's wedding to see my cousin get married, but I may very well leave before the dinner because I think that's when things are going to kind of get hot. Cousin, no, you mean so much to me. I want to see your wedding. I want to see that moment you're getting married. But I think that the dinner may be too much. I think we can communicate. What I also remind people is no contact may not always be forever. This is a big one for people because I view no contact as a time of healing, as a time when this person who leaves you feeling unsafe in your body and self-abandoning and all of that, you've removed that stimulus for a while. You can do a lot of the hard work of healing, really get back in your body, really explore your sense of self, your authentic self, connect in other healthy relationships. When circumstances line up that you may have to be in contact with that person again, you're in a much different position to do so, much more from a place of agency. I'm not going to stay all evening. I'm not going to get into those topics. If they start poking, I'm going to give myself permission to leave. Then probably not feel as triggered too. So I think the decision really comes from what is driving you, and nobody needs to know about it.